So with NMSU, we're working with them to provide our employee protection program through our Premier device tailored toward a research model. So we're going to provide the Premier device. It's going to come with Pocket MD. It's going to be about 100 folks, both professors and some students, as well as some student employees. We're going to provide 6 months of device coverage. And what they'll do is we'll be doing research around questions related to the efficacy and engagement of that device in that program through their research department. So it's a fully approved IRB research project, and we'll be doing the questions around COVID. We'll be letting them self-report not only a temperature, which is standard with our employee protection program, but also they've opted to add the pulse oximeter. Because science is telling us that one of the interesting first signs and one of the ongoing ways to evaluate is measurement of the pulse oximetry. So whereas temperature is not always a reliable sign, it is often, but not always, we are seeing evidence that pulse oximetry is at least as, if not even more reliable in terms of if your O2 sats drop, even though you might feel okay, the average adult, if their O2 sats are 90% or above, may not feel any different at all. If you have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, asthma, those kinds of things, you may live quite nicely at 82, 84%. So the idea is by monitoring your pulse oximetry, they'll be able to see any trends, which of course is the only point of temperature as well, since your normal temperature might be 97. And if you run 99, you're running a significant fever. Your normal temperature might be 99. And you're not really running a fever till you're 101. So just like the temperature is important from a trending standpoint, and will be triggering if anybody's above 98.6, pulse oximetry is just another data point. Now you've got 2 data points and you can watch the trend. So you could have a decrease in your pulse oximetry, but no change in temperature. Maybe you do have a symptom and a problem, and so we're going to report on both. Lots of companies are selling technology with COVID. Very few of them are actually saying that as part of this, we're going to define in advance research questions we want answered. In this case, it's not just about do we see a change in incidence. We're going to be asking things about how does the employee or the student feel about having this equipment. Does it make them feel more comfortable knowing that they're pre-screened and they have access to a medical consult from home at any time, 365, 7 days a week without ever having to leave their home? Do they feel that the employer, or in this case NMSU as the provider of the equipment, do they feel that they care? Is there a sense of, I appreciate you doing this for me? So we're gonna look at the quantitative stuff, but what's really cool about this one is we're gonna be looking at qualitative stuff too. But really understanding from an efficacy standpoint, when I take a look back after 6 months, did it work? So with the telemedicine piece, and it is one of the things we're gonna be sort of looking at as part of this process, we're very curious about what is their sense if you're a student. Does that help? Do you feel better? Do you use it? You know, a lot of your students might have kids at home, or mom and dad, right? Or maybe they don't locally, but maybe they're in upstate New York where my mom is, right? So with our Pocket MD, not only will the participant have Pocket MD, therefore medical consultation, and not just primary care, but access to a psychologist, access to a nutritionist, access to a pharmacist, access to a pediatrician even. I mean, there's several different ones. But that participant and up to 7 family members. So now, if I've got that, 6-year-old child and I'm getting my nursing degree and they're not well, I don't necessarily have to miss class. I can use that device, I can get on the phone with the doc, can talk about what's going on and help differentiate what's the urgency here. So I think we're going to see an awful lot of impacts, which I won't be a bit surprised about. But I think that a lot of folks after this project will be surprised because we'll be able to put data around the value of not having to miss class, not having to take your kid out of class, maybe when they go to school, right? All of those other things, giving something for mom who's in upstate New York and it's an hour to the doctor, but hey mom, you know what? Call this number, you're now covered. and you don't have to do the copay, right? So I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of other things. Employee protection is important. It's only part of it. I think everything around it, which is what I say about our tech all the time. Our tech is great, wonderful, but honestly, if you don't have a good system around it, all it is a doorstop and an expensive one. So let's have really good tech that actually solves some problems, and that's what we're going to see with this project. It's really cool.